on the wall.
That
Like
requires
ever since
how
like
much
6.
energy?
She's been doing it from 6 p.m. till about 10. So about 4 hours.
Still wish
And
I
then
could drag.
I had to walk her out of that room so she'd stop.
Oops.
Hey, Dark
Forgot about that.
Messiah, what's up?
I believe we're live on YouTube.
Yes, you
Yay.
are.
Super duper live.
Well, good evening and welcome to Starport Omega. This is November 6th. Would you believe it's already November? Soon it's going to be Thanksgiving. Soon it's going to be Christmas. This is our November 6th show, our November 6th episode. What episode number is this, Bunny? Number 10? 9?
I've got ours as podcast 10, so
There you go, number 10. We've done 10 of these. We've done 9 of these things already, and this one's number 10. Before we get started, you guys, we had an election. Of course, the election was just me, but so we had election. We have election results in. I think you guys all need to know that Intel Bunny was voted the most likely the president of cuteness and all things fuzzy.
Damn it! I knew I should have signed that someone else.
Judd has been appointed as ambassador to Geekville.
okay.
And Brad is for 17 years running. Actually, Brad has been reelected as the chancellor to all things
Quite
dark.
honestly,
all
what
things dark
kind of
arts.
drugs are you on?
I was waiting
I
for
mean,
it.
all I need to know is what you're on and where I can get some, because I'd like to be that happy for at least a few minutes.
And Jim has been reappointed once again as the grouchy old man under the mountain.
And Tom was reelected as Team Dad. He's not one person, he's like 6.
I'm not sure how I feel about that, but I'll take it.
Well, it was Team Dad or Team Dad Bod. We figured one was a lot more complimentary than the other.
Recount demanded. Yeah, I know, Dark Messiah. How am I cute and fluffy?
Speaking of which, speaking of dads,
Cats.
I'm gonna do this. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with the "I'm the a-hole" on Reddit. But
Oh, yes.
short version is someone posts a story, and then the point of the story is, am I the one who's wrong, or is the other person the one who's wrong? Obviously, you want it to be the other person because that's why you're posting the story. This guy says that he sends his daughter to school every day with a fantastic lunch. They didn't say precisely what's in it, so I don't know if it's the food or the presentation or the fact that his mom makes little drawings and puts them in there. I don't know. But every day, this little girl goes to school with a fantastic lunch. All the other kids are jelly. All the other kids are jealous of this little girl's lunch. And the school said, please stop sending your daughter to school with these fantastic lunches because the other kids are jealous. So I need a poll. Do you think that this guy, that this guy should have to tone down this guy's wife should have to tone down her artistic flair so that the other children don't cry?
Oh, hell no.
Well, that's
If it
kinda like
fits in
throwing
the
switch on
lunchbox.
It's kind of like throwing the switch on the track, isn't it? Do I run over 4 people, or do I run over 2 people and then 2 more? It's like, do I tell the little girls you can't have the fancy lunches? Do I make it the rest of the classroom cry? Thanks, man.
I say the correct response is to send in a catered lunch for the entire class, but that's just me.
Yeah.
I say the rest of the kids can go to hell. If the mother wants to actually make a really nice lunch for her kid, go for it.
Yeah, if that's a real thing, I definitely have to say go for it. I mean, I can't see the other kids getting so upset about them not having such a lunch that they cry.
Hold on, Dark Messiah's
have
got
a
an
hard time
answer
with
to
that.
all of this.
Dark Messiah. Recount
Send her-
demanded. Yeah.
Send her to school with tissues for the other kids.
And there's a box of Kleenex. This is for everyone else. Love, Mama. Winner.
Oh,
Like, yeah, no.
sorry.
If you're gonna be that, if you're gonna go down that road, include a box of. I'm sorry, your parents aren't interested.
Oh.
Yes, I'm gonna be that evil jackass.
You're going
No,
to
I
include
mean,
a box
a lot
of
of people are
shut the
just too
hell
busy.
up.
Easy, easy.
A lot
Okay.
of parents are really busy, and I do not fault them for that. Being a parent is a hard job, as Tom can attest. But the fact that a parent wants to put in their effort, that much extra effort for their kid, I do not think that child should be punished because their parent wants to pay more attention to them or
Yeah.
do something excessive for them. That's highly inappropriate.
I will say that my kid was easier than most. We haven't had any really big problems. So, I mean, just the usual little problems. But yeah, it definitely is a fun job.
Yeah, I'd say you lucked out.
I did. I really did. My kid is amazing.
Yeah, she's pretty
just
cool.
gonna put that out there.
Anyway,
she's okay.
now that
Any-
we've dropped this
any-
bomb,
Yeah,
Any
So,
daughter
Bunny.
that asked for a gaming computer at 17 was raised right.
that's right. So, Bunny, what do we have tonight?
So tonight we are talking about Star Trek Discovery, episode 2 and 3.
Awesome.
Well, yeah. Just
A
to
little
make
bit
a
of
point,
2.
just to make a point, this is the 3rd and 4th week, but the first 2 episodes were really they were really one story, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
We are also going to be talking about each member's Xmas gift ideas, kind of the geeky gift list. We also have season 2 of The Mandalorian to talk about.
It
We
has
have,
started.
yes, it has started. We are on, we're going to be talking about episode 1 of The Mandalorian. We are not going to be talking about 2, which dropped Friday night. I'm saying Friday night because on one side of the country, it is already Saturday, and on the other side of the country, it's still Friday.
Yeah, some of us have been working all day and then came straight to do this.
And then we're also going to be having Tom's segment. All right, no. I don't know what that stands for, final.
risk.
I'm just going to say that my favorite chips are potato
Reduced
chips.
instruction
So.
set.
Reduced
And
instruction set
for
computing.
final segment, I'm going to make him pronounce really difficult German words.
I
Night,
knew I
Dark
should have opened my
Messiah.
mouth before this.
Hey, Brad, what kind of chip
Night,
you got in
thank
there?
you.
The Dorito at the moment.
And then Tom's tutorial, Pro Audio mic on your computer.
Yeah, we thought last time wasn't geeky enough, so we're going to get even more geeky this time.
Tom's title was the most wordy. He could have shortened it to PC. I'm kidding.
I mean, of all the wordy things, you're going to give him that? I have 2 acronyms, so 2 very large acronyms.
Well, he could have done PC so that it wouldn't cover the space station.
Yeah.
But some people get bent out of shape over whether a PC is an IBM compatible Wintel system or whether that refers to all manner of desktop individual computers.
Or if it stands for politically correct.
Yeah.
You got to add the third notion. Sorry,
We
let's
don't need
continue.
none of that political correctness crap around here.
Please don't do that.
no,
Only a third of my state voted, and
sir.
4,000 of them.
Sir, PC
voted
stands
West,
for personal
so.
computer, sir, not politically correct.
Yeah, no, I hate that debate. To me, it's like, is it a computer? Yes. Is it your personal computer? Yes. Ta-da!
The trouble is you remember the PC versus Mac ads?
Yes.
It's hard to call a Mac a PC when Apple themselves are the ones who individuated that term. So I just saying, if you want to complain about, it's not a PC applies to every computer that an individual uses. I'm just going to say Apple's the one who made it different. So
Yeah, which I find funny because they were the ones whose goal was to put a computer on every home in every home.
Okay, so
I thought that was
tangents
Microsoft.
aside,
It was
tangents
Microsoft.
aside, I'm going to interrupt and go on my own tangent. If you guys notice, there is a new extension below. I've revamped the entire Twitch profile in favor of Extra Life. And Extra Life 2020 means a lot to me because last year I was not in a position where I could actually stream during this time. And I would like to, make everyone take a quick view at the extension down in the About area of my profile here, because that allows you to donate to Extra Life, which is going to be donating to the Arkansas Children's Network Miracle Hospital. And the reason why this is so important to me is because it is the same hospital that I spent the majority of my memorable childhood in. So if you guys wouldn't mind, with COVID happening, they only have 2 hospitals in this entire state. Our hospital is doing multiple charitable events to try to raise money so these families don't have to worry about ever paying for treatment at that hospital or that hospital network. So no kid, no family should ever have to worry about their kid getting sick and needing medical treatment. So if you guys, would open your hearts, open your wallets, and take a moment to donate and help better the life of a kid, because one day they might grow up to be just like one of the Starport Omega crew members, totally geeky and totally cool. So
Oops, I'm
thank
sorry.
you.
That should have been.
Don't
Yeah.
be a Grinch. Save Cindy Lou Who. Thank you.
And yes,
So
I
that's
checked.
my
I checked,
tangent.
and you are allowed to donate $17.01.
Awesome.
Yes, as I
And-
just did.
Thank you.
If you're going to be nerdy
Although
about it, be nerdy about it.
Although, if your favorite show was D Space Nine, you are totally allowed to donate $742.05. That's perfectly acceptable.
Any amount goes towards a great cause. This hospital means a lot to me. My brother, it meant so much to him that he actually got a job at this hospital, so
Good.
he can give back to that community. My brother is
Very
a
cool.
computer programmer technician at the Little Rock Children's Hospital of the Arkansas Network. And he gets to work one-on-one and go in the same hospital that I'm terrified to ever step through the doors again. So, but also, the great thing about these network hospitals, if you're ever a patient there, if your child's ever a patient there, they are a patient for life. So if they have a hard time finding a doctor as an adult, they can always fall back and go to the children's hospital and be seen by a specialist they need to be seen by, which is amazing. And these doctors and these nurses do a lot of good, and they help a lot of people. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for them and this amazing network. So yeah. Anyways, back onto our topic.
How do we not have an extra life slide in here?
Funny.
Seems like we should have had one in the
entire
deck.
yeah, my entire thing is just
Your entire page is an
overloaded.
extra life slide.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, oh
I
yeah.
was going to say, if you want to, you could also donate. If you like Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, you could also donate $18.64.
There you go. Before we
Is
go
there
on,
any Back to Life or Back to the Future number they can donate?
At the time, I don't know what you could do with that.
$88.
Well, you got that.
$88.88.
Before we go on, I've been highlighting different geeky little bits of imagery and video. This week is the LCARS interface. This is a Windows 10 app. This is a Windows 10 app. It's the best app ever. Basically, it is a lookalike of what this artist's interpretation of the Star Trek Next Generation interface. And it's got a bunch of different screens in it. These are all, just artistic imagery. There is also, I believe, some media players and stuff like that, so you can actually like play a movie in here or read an ebook in here. And it has the classic Star Trek game. It's got an adaptation of Mayfield's Star Trek text game in here as in this interface, which I just think is cool, and I've actually spent some time playing it just for fun. So again, that's on the the Microsoft Store. I don't remember how much it is, but it's if you're a nerd, then it's worth having to put in your
What is
library.
it called again?
LCARS interface. LCARS.
Oh. Thank you, Peanut Gorilla. I'll be sure to check that, and thank you so much for donating. I appreciate every penny.
I remember back in the Windows 9X days when Windows Explorer was a POS and people replaced it with other shells. There was one called Lightstep, and they had an official LCARS interface where the buttons actually did what they're supposed to do. just like what that app was doing just now. That's just like, except this was like 20 years ago. Oh God, I feel old saying that.
An actual useful application. It's got a clock. The atmosphere gives you the actual weather at your location.
Well, that's. Can someone just write an LCARS like iOS or Android app? Because
Well,
that would
anyways,
make it appropriate.
Caution, spoilers ahead. Let's get on to our first topic of the night, since we're already running an hour behind schedule.
Bunny's schedule is really tight.
It's not really tight.
Hey, Bunny, are there spoilers?
There are spoilers.
So if I have not yet watched any of these episodes, should I watch this next segment?
If you plan on watching it and you care about spoilers, the answer to that is you should not watch.
Okay, well, I guess that's the end of my involvement for this
All right.
podcast. Good night.
See you later, Brad.
I'm kidding. I don't mind.
So without going through the extra long, super long recap we did last time, we've had two episodes of Discovery since the last time we got together. The first episode, Discovery, the third week, Discovery reached Earth and found out that things were not quite what they expected. The Federation Earth was no longer part of the Federation, and they had raiders coming to visit. Next episode, we find out that someone who has joined the crew is now not a joined Trill. What do you call it? I guess a joined human. They have a Trill symbiote and a human host. So they go to the Trill homeworld to take care of business. So rather than just talk about the entire thing, I was hoping we could just be a little more brief and talk about what our favorite moments were. Does anyone want to go first? Brett, you got picked.
I haven't seen it. How am I going first?
Brad's favorite moment was the closing credits.
No, my favorite moment was your subscription has lapsed.
Oh no!
Crap.
How about Jim?
I think my favorite moment was probably at the end where they were breaking through her memories. As to when they were trying to fix her memories and so she could remember the other, I guess it would be the other Trill's memory she's remembering, right? Not the symbiotes.
The host, they call it the symbiote. The symbiote carries the memories of all of the hosts that were
all the hosts from before. But does the Trills carry the memories of the Trills as well?
No.
I don't know that the symbiote has its own personality. I've always thought that the symbiote just.
I mean,
they have knowledge of their existence.
They have the big tank, and they can talk to each other apparently. But
yeah, that's the only way they can share the memories.
Okay,
is the tank.
I like the part where they were breaking through the memories. I was actually surprised. I thought we were
seriously. You didn't crop the picture.
You know what? I just put it up there.
Okay. Okay.
I gotta say that sequence.
So glad that my medication bottle was facing the opposite direction.
Why doesn't that make thrilling Star Trek Adventures?
That sequence, Jim, I agree with you. That is some of the best Trek I have ever seen.
Yeah, and
just the impact of that, and we all knew what was happening. The instant that we found out that that her boyfriend was a Trill, we all knew it was going to happen because there's no other way to get where we were. But still, it broke my heart watching it.
It did. I am not ashamed to admit there may have actually been tears.
At the end of it, my daughter, I turned to my daughter and I'm like, I'm not too much of a man to admit I might have cried once during that episode, and she goes, I cried like 3 times.
Are we talking tears of joy at this level of Trek?
It was really emotionally. It was really that good. It was really that well done, that well written, that well played. It was just really, really good. You completely lost yourself in it. You were there. It was great.
The cinematography it borrowed some elements from Ghost in the Shell, I thought. Some of the camera angles and stuff, but the cinematography was excellent. The acting was top notch. Everything, the writing, the directing, this episode really just nailed it.
Well, not just this episode. I have to say, I don't know what has changed, but this season overall, has just been outstanding. I mean, it really has been.
You
It's
might think
just- I really liked the second season. I didn't like the first season until I watched it the second time, and I could appreciate what they were trying to do, but I didn't really care for it. I really liked the second season. It was good, but it's not. This is just blowing everything away. It is just amazing.
you think this might have anything to do with the fact that CBS has basically doubled and tripled down on Star Trek because they're losing money and this is their biggest property right now. And it
Yeah.
is
I had
Hey,
heard
Judd.
two things. I had heard that one, that they were
Yeah.
trying to keep this up so they could sell it, but I had also heard that it's like, this is our shot. We're taking it. If we can't make this go, then CBS is dead. Because I know that Redstone's daughter is propping up the studio with her own money.
holy
They had
crap.
to. They were having trouble with their stock, and they had to sign an agreement that their stock wouldn't go below a certain value, or the SEC would jump in. And she has been propping up the stock by buying it with her own cash, and she's made it quite clear. My resources are not inexhaustible. Something's got to change here. Something has to win. So I've heard two things. I've heard they're trying to prop it up to sell it, and that's what the meeting with NBC was. NBC was going to buy it, but CBS wanted too much money. And I've also heard that they're just trying to really make it a good show. And if that's what they're trying, boy, are they succeeding. Because it's wonderful this season.
So to get back on track, Judd, what did you think of this episode of these two episodes that we're talking about here?
Well, we're talking about the first one first, and then we'll hit the.
Well,
I guess
you're talking about
I
the
guess Jim
second
was talking
one,
about Return to the Home World. Yeah,
and the Trill and everything is the second one that we're talking about.
That's true.
Because
Yeah, never mind,
where
project.
the Raiders.
Trill is the fourth one.
Well,
Yeah.
we're the two we're talking about tonight.
Yeah, this is a decent episode. Yeah, I know. I should be expounding on it, but honestly,
You really didn't care that much for it.
I thought her boyfriend was actually a girl. Sorry.
You know what? I did too.
Okay,
I have to go to that one. I'm in on it. I thought it was a girl as well.
you're actually both not wrong. Both of those actors are LGBTQ something. So the actor that plays
Oh, really?
yes, the actor that plays Adira is, I cannot remember the person's name right now. Uses they them pronouns and is not claims to be non-binary.
Okay.
And Star Trek made a big deal about this is the first non-binary character on Star Trek. I guess we're going to forget about the episode with Riker and the non-binary rate, the whole non-binary.
Yeah, but that wasn't. Yeah, but she was a character in one episode, not a regular.
Yeah. This is the first regular that's non-binary in the series in Star Trek. And then
Cool.
Gray. I wish I had a picture of Gray in here. Gray is I want to say Gray is a female to male transsexual.
The
So-
actor.
The actor. So we don't know how far along that actor is in their transition, but so you guys are not entirely wrong. Can certainly be forgiven for thinking that that's a female because biologically that person I believe is.
The person has feminine features.
Yes. And
I
will-
thought
and
the actor was
yeah,
really young when they said it was a guy. I went, oh, must be a really young person.
yeah, forgive me for not having that information at the tip of my fingers. But yeah, Star Trek did make a big deal about that. I believe the character's name is Gray. Not Shades of Gray. Gray Tao is the character's name.
There is
Played
a
by Ian
couple of
Alexander. And
Yeah.
Okay, the big deal about Ian Alexander is the first transsexual Asian American something in to actually make it in cinema in the US. It's worth checking out both of these actors and looking at their stories because neither one of them is a traditional. And I love seeing that Star Trek is including some non-traditional actors as well as non-traditional characters.
Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, this is supposed to be the utopia of equality, so
Yeah.
adding them in kind of seems appropriate to fit the narrative and the entire overall theme that
It was something that Roddenberry
Originally
wanted
intended.
to do all the way back in the Next Generation, but the suits wouldn't let him.
Now, what's going to be interesting is while Star Trek.com said that the character was non-binary, we haven't seen any evidence of that yet. I mean, constantly Adira was referred to as a she. So I have a feeling that there's going to be a coming out of sorts, and there's some sort of a bond with Stamets and Colbert, according to the the teasers we got. So we'll see what happens during the course of the series with those characters. And of course, we know that Gray is now a Force ghost, for lack of a better term. Which, sorry, Brad, I didn't mean to spoil that for you. Gray is, of course, the previous host for Tau, which makes this really interesting. We're going to have a relationship between two people, one of whom is no longer corporeal. So we'll see how that goes during the course, and that I think is going to be a fascinating journey watching those two interact when only one of them can actually.
Hold on. If all that, if you join with a symbiote and when you die, you die and your memories are what are left. How did we have a conversation at the end?
Well, do you remember
remembering the other person? They were actually having a conversation.
The way I understand it is, do you remember the episode of Deep Space Nine where Jadzia went through like this remembering ceremony, and she actually had it like a chat with all of her previous hosts?
Vaguely, I wasn't really a big DS9 fan.
So I guess the best way to put it is, this happened in this actually is prefaced by Frank Herbert. Actually, is the first one to actually deal with this in Dune. In Dune, Atreides' son becomes the Emperor, and he remembers all of the previous people along his line, all of the Bene Gesserit.
Right.
And at some point, those memories start taking on a life of their own, and he starts suffering from multiple personality disorder or something like that. I can't remember all the details.
That was his sister.
So, was it a sister? That's right. It was a sister.
His sister. That's one of the reasons why she was considered a heretic.
Yeah. So you can kind of do the same thing as a host. You can the memories are there, and that the memories are what it is, or what gets held inside the symbiote. The symbiote is still a living creature. It's still a living being. So it takes on the characteristics of each host as it advances through each life.
So she was actually talking to the Trill, but with the other one's memories and experiences.
Essentially, yeah. I mean, the symbiote becomes. I mean, become one. You literally become one with the symbiote. So
I get that. So she could actually
have a conversation with any of her previous hosts.
She could have a conversation with the previous host, with somebody that has all their feelings, all their experiences, and all their knowledge.
And I think that Jadzia Dax had to go through a ceremony to do it. But apparently, Adira, either being Adira or maybe being human, or maybe just as a result of the traumatic events that led to her becoming host to Tau, that gave her an extra little bit of ability to talk to Gray that she wouldn't have had otherwise. And quite frankly, she could just be insane and hallucinating. And I don't care. I don't care. I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought that was a great moment. But I'm going to say, since we haven't talked about the previous episode at all, Welcome to Earth, or whatever the name of it was. Welcome to Earth. Now go home. I loved Georgiou's, how she stepped in near the end of that episode, knocked the Raider guy down and ripped his helmet off. And we're all thinking this is going to turn out to be some alien that can't breathe human air, and that's why he's wearing this respirator all the time. And it just turns out it's some guy that wants to be Darth Vader and just won't take his mask off because he think it makes him look intimidating.
No, that wasn't it.
I know. That whole I love that, and you have said this in the past, Jim, that the big ability of the defining characteristic of humans in the Star Trek universe is that they are peacemakers. And I love that in the Welcome to Earth episode, that Discovery is literally that they acted as peacemakers, and they actually brought these two tribes of humans back together again.
I think that's partially why this season is working so well with Star Trek fans. Because remember, in the first one, the Federation was being torn apart by forces from within, and in the second one, we kind of fought back. And now we got the third one where it's like these people from the past are coming forward to show you how to be the Federation again. So it's like everything that you and I grew up believing because we watched way too much Star Trek, we're seeing in these episodes. This is how you solve this kind of problem. We go, yes, I know. And this is how you solve this problem. Yes, I know.
We do have a picture of Gray here. So this is Gray and Adira interacting, even though Gray is now a figment. But I think honestly, now that I've said all that, I think I loved the ending of this episode with the Buster Keaton hologram in the shuttle bay.
Yep.
Mostly not for its own sake, but for what it implies. Have all of you guys seen the short trek with Calypso?
I haven't seen any of the short treks.
Okay, so the short version is the actor that plays Book, he's not the same character, but the actor that plays Book shows up on the Discovery. The Discovery's been floating around in space for 1,000 years on its own. And we assume that it's been abandoned for some reason.
Okay. Yeah.
And the computer is alive. She is every bit as alive as you and me, right? And she and this guy, form a friendship. And she watches these old movies. So I loved that this kind of reminded me of that. And the fact that we had these little moments with the computer starting to wake up and give us those glimpses of the Calypso version of herself. And I loved that. I loved this because it just totally reminded me of that short trek, which I really liked. And that is the last Discovery slide I have. There is another star something. Go ahead.
Well,
oh yeah, we didn't get to yours.
Like you've kind of had the floor, so there's a lot to these two episodes. We have, who can we trust, and someone having to relearn something she's known for so long that she thought was the only part of herself, and having to adapt to live. And that's the first episode that we're talking about, where they're they're approached by raiders and Book, and they have to save the day. And one of the sentimental things that I really enjoyed about that episode is at the end of it, where they are at the academy that still exists on Earth, where the Federation had the foresight to see that if they remained on Earth, that the Earth would be in danger, and they couldn't do that. But the building remained. The respect for the Federation kind of remained, but there was no trust left because the Earth was basically abandoned to a degree. They became self-sufficient, but they were so defensive that it was heartbreaking. And we get to this next episode, and it is everyone in such denial of what has happened. They're in such denial of their own thoughts, their own feelings, and their own fears. And I've connected a lot with that episode in the start of it, and everyone basically having to have a breakdown and get pissed off in order to realize that they're not alone in it and that they need each other. And it's okay to need help. It's okay to hurt. And it's okay to not know what's going to happen. There was a lot of emotional connectivity because if we put it in today's timelines and we look how much we've gone through since the Next Generation till now, we've had to come to accept a lot of things that have happened, and we've had to come to accept how much we've grown and how much we haven't and how much we have left to grow. And we can't grow or begin to grow until we break down those walls. We can't get past the barrier because we don't have the tools. And the only way we can have these tools is if we trust and believe in each other. And
that-
good.
I was just saying, there's that saying that the beginning of wisdom is admitting your own ignorance, and I feel like here, like the beginning of the healing is admitting you have a problem.
Yeah. And it's a lot with grieving too. You know, a lot of people are going through grieving, even if it's in minute amount or if it's in large amounts. I constantly go through medical stuff. Being handed news that isn't in my favor, I feel it's hard to deal with. And if I don't deal with it the right way, I get angry. I get dismissive. I get problematic, you know? But after that, I just, I come to accept it and I let my friends back in. But if I didn't put up that barrier in the first place and fear so much of what others would think about the fact that I have the medical conditions and I have these problems and that I'm going to be different, or things might change, and just trust my friends, then it would be a little easier for me. Much like the pilot, when she has to not be stubborn and talk to someone.
You brought up Detmer and her apparent PTSD. Does anybody think that there is going to be another? Does anybody think there's going to be something deeper to that, or that's going to pay off in terms of future events in the season?
I don't know.
Jed?
I'm hoping we haven't seen the end of it, because it was so
intense.
Not just intense, but it was highlighted several times in the previous episode.
Oh yeah,
definitely did point it out quite a few times.
And and I hate to think that something as significant of that is just going to get swept under the rug.
Well, they didn't really sweep it under the rug. In the 4th episode, they had the scene where she went and talked to the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
I need to talk to somebody.
Yeah, we're hoping that's not the end. That's what Todd's saying.
Showed her working through therapy and things like that. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is they do then in the 24th century.
Yeah.
Making it to where people don't have to be ashamed of, I don't know how to deal with this, but someone else might. If I open up to someone, is that okay? And showing that, yes, that's okay. That's healthy. Would be nice.
And who here is really hoping that Discovery gets a tech upgrade? Because when those cannons knocked out her shields in one hit, I find myself thinking there's no way she can survive in that universe.
She is a research vessel.
Well, not only that, she can jump out of the way anytime she needs to, as long as Stamets is down there in the engine room where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, the only person that can physically do the job.
Well, I have a feeling from what happened in episode 4 that's not going to be the case for very much longer.
Yeah,
hopefully.
I'm still going to run on
longer.
the hunch that this is how Enterprise J can travel in time, and we're going to get rid of the mushroom drive. I think is that they're going to keep it in the future, the magic mushroom drive, and they're going to go back to the past with warp drive.
Well,
because it blows too many stories. It's like, well, where did this engine go? I mean, there is no organization ever anywhere that would give up that kind of a tactical advantage, ever.
It's faster than, what was it, the quantum tunnel drive?
Quantum slipstream drive,
yeah, that one could go from one quadrant of the Milky Way to the other in what, days? Was it?
Yeah,
it was like a 2-week trip.
What if it turns out that there's literally no other way aside from the DNA that's in Stamets, and they come up with it can't be extracted. We've tried and we can't extract it, and we can't replicate the DNA that's the tardigrade DNA that's been injected in him.
Well, then Stamets would be stuck, but that wouldn't explain how they had more than one time ship in the future.
True. Well, I mean, who knows? I mean,
what if the drive just gets stolen, and that's how the whole temporal war begins?
I mean, there have been so many ways they've traveled in time. I mean, we have We had the Guardian. We had slingshotting around a black hole. Slingshotting around Earth's sun. We had chronoton particles. There was the gateway on that library planet. Okay, and I'm just going to say, who wouldn't want to go visit an entire planet that's basically a huge library? I mean,
I know a few people.
But, it's my hatred of time travel stories.
Yeah.
I
the ultimate
think that
scapegoat.
it's just too easy to write yourself out of problems with that. Oh, it was a time drop. Yeah, that's it. They weren't really here all this time.
That's like why Roddenberry put in the show Bible for the original Star Trek that this is not a magic box. You can't use the transporter to undo everything that happens during an episode.
Which is why they've got to get rid of that. The magic mushroom drive must go. I don't know how they're going to do it, but it must go.
I'm willing to bet that it's going to involve some of the stuff that happened in season 2.
Control and the ship's
Possible,
computer. I can't remember her name.
Well, Control and just the people dealing with the dimensional gap, the ones that are there basically screwing with, going, okay, this needs to end, or you could end up, cascade failure of the universe again.
Well, that's the thing that bugged me is didn't the magic mushroom people like get mad because they were invading their space? I thought that was part of why they were not going to use it anymore. And is that just gone? I mean, is that no longer a thing or what?
Well, apparently.
I mean, it's like the writers forgot their own show, or
think
maybe I missed something in that episode.
No,
little column A, little column B, and a bunch of the column C, which is, we didn't really think that anybody was going to pay attention.
Well, they should research their Star Trek fans a little better then.
Wouldn't be the first time that something happened in canon got completely negated in a later episode or series. Any closing thoughts before we cross universes and go visit another star or something universe?
Only the hair. Last podcast, I was really on about her hair.
Oh yeah.
I was all wet on that when I watched the beginning of episode 3, and I'm like, oh, I guess it just grew. I thought for sure that was going to be some kind of disguise thing that was going to come up later.
Yeah.
How they made themselves look different, and they were going to get away with some heisting like they did in Card with it. Yeah, I was wrong.
You were going to say something, buddy?
Our slides are not in that order.
They're not in that order? Because the next
Well,
one
whoever's up next, hit it.
Next one I have is Baby Yoda standing in front of the spittoon.
Okay, so our title screen is not in the correct order then.
Oh.
Dun, dun, dun.
Somebody's in trouble.
Do I need to skip around?
You can if you'd like. If not, then that is totally fine too.
Okay, well. The Baby Yoda show is back. Aren't we excited?
Yay.
I know I am.
I'm pissed that I forgot to renew my Disney Plus membership.
So this is the show about the little green baby that travels the galaxy along with his sidekick, some dude in some armor. The man in the armor. Yeah. The man in the metal mask, the Mandalorian. We all know that Baby Yoda stole the show last season.
That ain't right.
Yeah, this season he's not really so much stealing the show as he is having little moments. My favorite moment so far was when he closed the hatch over himself.
Oh yes. In the preview where he sees the lights start going on the what is it, the whistling whatever?
Yeah.
The rocket darts, whatever the hell they are. He just kind of looks over, sees that, beep, closes it up. Like, I know what's going to happen. Like,
so we
ain't dumb.
We don't have any slides from that at the beginning. I loved that opening sequence as a way of getting us back into the flow of things, and I thought they hit on the tone that really quickly got us back into the tone of the series. And I got to say, the writers did a bang up job, just picking right back up where they left off. Have you seen it? Have you seen it yet, Judd? You've seen it, right?
I've seen them all.
Okay. Jim is the only one who hasn't, so Jim can't comment.
I have nothing to say on those other than have fun, guys.
Well, I haven't seen them either.
Okay,
I keep forgetting
so
to renew my membership.
Real quick, Peanut Gorilla, the making them say hard German words. I appreciate this suggestion, but technically your German word isn't grammatically correct because it's more than one German word, and it was kind of a tease because Final wanted me to pronounce a German word for him earlier today.
Which I've completely
What-
forgotten how to pronounce now.
What did that German word mean, anyways? I completely missed what that was all about.
Oh, it's a description
Oh.
for politics.
Oh,
Face that
oh,
deserves a
that's right.
slap.
That's right.
For
Yeah.
scattering.
Okay, so
The end of that though is correct. Basically, after Gestschlef in the middle, it's company captain. If you're going for that, before that, there's some misspelling in there that makes it just a jumble of letters at the start. So, anyways, but no, if I'm not certain what entirely it is, it's got some issues. Anyways, let's move on to back to the Mandalorian.
So
Even
our
this-
thoughts on the pilot, the premiere episode of season 2. What did you guys all think of this? I mean, the story was basically lifted from a couple of westerns, but
I still can't believe they got that guy as the actor.
yeah, he did a fantastic job, didn't he?
No, it just makes me want to watch this episode that much more because I'm just staring at him like, wait, is that? No.
Yeah,
Seriously? It was like, oh, you. They're keeping a lid on this stuff so well.
they are. It's beautiful.
Like the only thing we had any clue about for this entire season was literally that preview.
I don't know. I can smell it.
What do you
And I'm
guys?
live.
Oh,
I mean, not to mention the fact that the dude is one of my favorite actors. Like he tends
Yeah.
to play these really out there roles.
It's raining.
It's raining?
It's raining.
It's snoring.
Well, that's
I-
interesting because I've got Jack in my backyard and you're about, what, 15 miles away?
we had a
Something
little
like
bit of water down here.
Been
I have to
raining
say
all
that
day here. But then
when
again,
they
I'm
were when they were scooting around on their little speeders on Tatooine, this is the most Star Wars that the series has felt so far. And I think honestly, this is going to sound dumb, but it was what did it for me. What hooked me in was not the action or the land speeders, or it was when they're going through the desert and we get this little throwaway scene of the two little creatures playing in the sand. It's like, I don't know why, but those little moments are what always, that little tiny bit of environmental stuff is what always makes me think, it like pulls me into the Star Wars universe more than the big stuff.
Yeah, no, it's the little details like that are what tends to make or break a lot of scenes. Because you're looking at a series where you have a giant empty desert. That is your backdrop. There's not much going on. You've got to do something to fill that space. Otherwise, you're going to be left with people going, okay, what's going on here? I don't care how good the action is. I don't care how good the dialogue, drama, acting, everything about it can be perfect. If you just have two people standing with a giant background, nothing going on, it's going to become a distraction.
Yeah. So it's hard to discuss an episode only a couple of us have seen so far.
By all means, go for it. I'm going to watch it no matter what. I don't care about spoilers.
yeah, then I
What
don't
did
care.
you, what did you
about
think about what did you think about Cobb here, Judd?
Cobb?
Yeah, this his whole shtick with the town and the marshal.
You know, the part of the podcast that we should be paying attention to.
I'm trying to make sure I've got something we discussed earlier.
He'll have to restart the slideshow. You have to remember that.
Oh
No,
okay.
you're fine. Yeah, the marshal. I thought the character was fine. I mean, he was actually the actor who played him is an awesome actor. I loved him in Justified, and the character itself, I can understand why he wanted to keep the Mandalorian armor, but when another Mandalorian comes up and says, "Give me the armor or I kill you," yeah. It's time to give up the armor.
The armor
yeah.
is yours, sir.
Did anyone think that they were going to have this moment where Mando goes, you know what? I think you've earned it.
Not really.
No, I would not expect that to ever happen with a Mandalorian. Because their armor is it's part of their religion. They're
Yeah,
not
it really is.
exactly
Their religion, their creed. I'll tell you, when he pulled that helmet off and set it on the table just casually, I was just like, what?
I wasn't surprised just because of, like, I don't know, like, Mando was in some roughed up armor. So, I can hear myself. I don't know who it's through.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting an echo too.
Well,
Let me see.
I
if I'm-
blame. I'm gonna go with, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's Tom.
Hi.
I don't
No,
see how
it's
it could
Judd.
be.
Oh, it's Judd.
Hi. Yeah, it was Judd. He was waiting too close to his mic.
I can't
Okay,
help
no,
it. I'm
because-
wearing open headphones.
Wow,
Yeah,
your
so-
headphones
Bring yourself
are
to
that
my
loud that you're
headphones.
triggering the- Wow.
Yeah.
these
Well,
are
I have a
technical
high
things too,
octave
but-
voice, so my voice picks up a whole lot better. So sorry, I got distracted. I have no clue where I was going with that.
Vance Cobb, that was his name. I kept thinking of Jane Cobb. I'm like, okay, we're not watching Firefly, even though the show really reminds me of Firefly.
I would not be surprised if several of the aspects of this
Judd.
was inspired. Because
Judd.
it really is kind of
You're
like
not hearing
Cowboys
me,
in
though.
Space.
It is, and in this episode especially, the Sand People are the Indians, and there was somebody that was offended by that and wrote this big long article about it on.
I don't want to get too far into that because of some of the rules on both YouTube and Twitch as far as those kind of discussions go.
Hmm,
And
fair
both
enough.
me and Judd tend to like our channels the way they are, unbanned and, not.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna dig into it. I just wanted to mention, it was just interesting that somebody drew those parallels, and it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, but you can draw those parallels in a lot of worlds. It's basic suppressed groups, and I'll just leave it at that.
Any
Anyway.
predictions for this show this year? You guys, anything specific you guys are looking forward to seeing, or that you're expecting to see that may not be stuff that's already been thrown out there and for the public to know about?
I expect we're going to see some sort of tie-in with the new trilogy.
Maybe something that leads into it.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming, is something that leads into it, because they've kind of hinted at that. Like, this is all post, Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
And that was rather clear in the first season when Gina Carano's character goes, I was trained as a Republican shock trooper. Now we've won. I've got nothing to do.
Got nothing
I'm
left to do.
bored.
Yeah. It is actually supposed to be 5 years after the Battle of Endor. So that should give us some time frame.
Battle
And
of
I
Endor,
believe-
Battle of Yavin.
Battle of Endor, the way they blew up the second Death Star. In fact, the second Death Star, the destruction of the second Death Star is featured in this episode. Not the actual event, but it's in a flashback.
Okay, so it is a key time point reference, because they like the entire first season they were super cagey about when it happened. Like, it's after Return of the Jedi, but they wouldn't really say when.
Yeah, because they mentioned like the New Republic, and then kind of laugh about how the New Republic's going to save us. But yeah.
Well, even in the original expanded universe, before Disney bought Lucasfilm and LucasArt, the New Republic didn't really do much out on the on the rim and the rim and the outer rim, because they didn't have the ships for it. They kind of had a detente with the Hutts and other crime syndicates, where like, you keep a lid on this, or we'll come after all of you, kind of situation.
Yeah, I mean, you can only do so much, with So we know some things that are going to happen. We know that we are going to see some of the characters from the animated shows. We are going to see both. It looks like we are going to see Ahsoka from the Clone Wars, and that is I cannot remember the name of the actress that's going to be playing her. It is somebody we all know.
Damn it. I knew who you're talking about. I remember when it got announced. It was one of the few leaks to come out about season 2.
And she does seem to be a fitting actress for the part. There's also rumors, because we saw another hooded figure. So there's also rumors that we're going to see Sabine from the Rebels series. And I'm just going to say this. If you guys have not yet watched Star Wars Rebels, while it is marketed as a cartoon for kids, it is just as deep and involved as any of the Star Wars lore. And it's definitely worth watching. The first season is a little bit kiddie. It kind of grows up around, I want to say around the third season, as Ezra gets older. Because like Ezra just like mysteriously gains 5 years, just like that.
I love how into it we're getting, but we're also getting off on a tangent again. And
Right.
I'm going to try to keep us on track.
Rosario
So-
Dawson.
Rosario
Yeah.
Dawson. That's what I was hoping someone would look it up while I was talking.
Oh, I'm
so
glad she's into something. I'm glad she's doing something else now.
So we're
I'm
going to
really-
see a couple
I
of
like her.
we're going to see a couple of people from we're going to see Sabine, another Mandalorian warrior. Rumor has it that Pedro Pascal kind of disappears the second half of the season. I don't really follow the rumors that he got mad that he's not being shown, but I don't believe that. But it sounds like they're going to focus more on other characters later.
So what
Well,
about more
the-
about what happened in this episode? 'Cause
The
we
trouble
still have
is,
a-
yeah. I mean,
Because we
it's
still have
hard
a
to-
lot.
it's
We
hard
still
to
have a
just-
lot to cover. I know
Yeah.
it's hard to talk about it without not talking about.
I'm trying
everything
not to
else.
monopolize everything, and nobody else has got much to say. It's the problem.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
you got one person that doesn't care, one that's kind of about it, and you got 2 people that haven't seen it.
okay.
I just,
So,
I'm just gonna-
anyways, if
I'll just close it up
So,
with I
we-
go ahead.
can't say anything. But anyways, so we get to the point where it's like, okay, so he goes into the mining settlement. He finds the freaking Mandalorian, who's basically the sheriff of these parts, as the old Western thing is. Yeah,
Mando says this armor ain't big enough for the 2 of us.
and then it's the dragon, the beast. And in reference to, Star Wars way back when, watching this, my roommate pointed out that he believed that the dragons of this sort used to have legs. But now, if I look at it and you see it's like, okay, this one's a sand dragon, and sidewinders, legless lizards, a lot of the creatures that live and burrow and shift through sand, they get to the point where they don't have legs. Legless lizards are indeed lizards, not snakes. You can Google it if you want. They also have ear holes and they have eyelids, which snakes do not. And we go on this exploration into parts that Mando himself hadn't been really into. But man, oh man, does his mechanic know a whole hell of a lot.
Yeah, right.
Like, yeah,
The dragon actually does have legs. It's
It
a
does.
10-legged dragon. Yes,
okay.
you don't see them because they're still underneath the sand. But if you have a reptile that's doesn't have any legs, it's trying to go through sand, it moves back and forth like a snake. This didn't. It was always straight, which means it has legs propelling it.
Well, it's like when you see a lot of it though, like you see a lot of it's undersized. Like he says, it's like
In the lore of Star Wars,
okay in the lore, but they didn't quite visualize that for us here. Is what I'm trying to point out.
in the lore of Star Wars, crate dragons. There's the greater crate dragon, and then there's the canyon crate dragon. The greater crate dragon actually has a really, really long neck.
Yes.
I mean, a really
So,
long neck.
Anyways,
So
on
we might
to
be seeing just that guy's neck the entire time.
Oh, that's
then-
disturbing.
the. Well, actually, he got swallowed because the bomb didn't actually work. So yeah. Anyways, if we can move on to the next slide,
Yes, moving on.
because yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna say Mandalorian has so far been every episode, first season and second, has been
Took like
fantastic.
20
And,
screenshots or 20
Yeah.
pictures of this.
I've
By the
only,
way,
got the
But-
three. I've only got the 3 right now.
Oh, okay.
Did they continue
Oh.
the habit of every episode having a different director in season 2?
I think so.
John Favreau has done the first and second one so far.
Okay, because
Okay.
that's one of the things they did in the in the first season that I thought was really interesting. They kept an overall theme in production and presentation style,
Hmm.
but it was different directors for almost every episode. So
Well, that's pretty typical in a
it
in a
added a
television
lot of
series.
detail.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're talking like stylized directors that are known for their specific unique style.
Oh, right.
It's
Yeah.
like doing a TV show and having Tarantino come in and do an episode.
Yeah.
You know,
So,
followed next week by Paul W. Anderson.
so Tom, what is next on our list?
Okay, so as we all know, it is approaching we have a large holiday approaching, and it is the holiday where we all eat things. Wait, no, it's the holiday where we all give each other things.
No,
we eat
you
things
were right
too.
the first time. Yeah, the first time. Yeah.
Things
And
He's skipping Thanksgiving, everybody.
yeah.
Cook pretty big meals for both major holidays.
Well, I mean, this is kind of the time when you start thinking about what you're going to get your loved ones for Christmas. And some of you may have loved
have
ones
loved
that
ones?
some of you may have child loved ones, larval stage humans that you want to give fun things to. Some of you may have adult stage humans, and you are a larval stage human. Some of you may even have other adult stage humans that you share your life with, who you want to please and make happy. So we've worked up some fun geek gifts that you might think about getting someone you love or yourself, or you might want to slip this under someone's table mat at the dinner table and let them think, this might be something I want. So everybody kind of put in some of the things that they thought would be fun or interesting or gifts that they'd love to get.
So
So-
I'm focusing on Jim because his cat has moved, and I'm not sure if his cat has been showcased in our podcast that much. So she got up she got up and turned around and laid back down.
Oh, my cat.
Your cat.
yeah, your cat, not your hat.
So Peanut Gorilla, a nice little treat for you. One of my favorite viewers adores kitty cats.
This cat's a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah, Coconut can be a little special at times, and at other times be a complete sweetheart.
Peanut Gorilla says, "Hello, kitty."
You know that saying about how you don't own the cat owns you?
Yeah, it's kind of true with Coconut.
Shh, it's okay. There we go. Cup. No. There we go.
Oh goodness. Hi,
Aw.
Coconut.
Coconut's looking happy now.
Oh
Like,
my goodness.
Oh, head scratches, head scratches. Mhm.
Oh my goodness. So please tell your cat I love it. Coconut, Peanut Gorilla loves you.
Let's hear that. You got a fan.
That's my baby.
Yeah, I especially love it when we're playing Diablo 3 and
That's my
Coconut decides she's going to help attack.
So
I'll
final.
upload a video of that so you can see it. Pretty funny.
Ah, me. Yes, I'm the first sacrificial victim. I mean, guide giver. All right. I decided to go out there and kind of go with a mixed bag of stuff because everybody kind of nerds and geeks differently. Everyone has a different kind of area. You've got Star Trek fans, you've got Star Wars fans, but then you've also got people that are hugely into lore, like my first item here, which is, the Master Sword from Legend of Zelda, one of my favorite freaking video games. Actually, the video game that got me into RPGs. I freaking love Zelda, and finding a light up stand of the original Zelda Master Sword from the SNES edition, which I believe was Link to the Past? Ugh, it's been so long since I played one. I'll probably end up going up to my room tomorrow, or my game room tomorrow, and finding my SNES and still have the Zelda cartridge stuck in it.
Yeah, right.
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
gonna have some seriously corroded contacts, though. I'm gonna have to be careful taking it apart.
Oh, yeah.
Um, But yeah, I believe that was like $35-$39, so it fits under the $50 bill. And it's something that most video game nerds that are into RPGs are probably going to just like see that and go, mine.
So what, the sword lights up? Is that what I
No, the
understand?
base. The sword looks like it's stuck in the sword in the stone,
Right,
traditional.
right, yeah.
But what happens if you push the central pyramid in the Triforce,
Uh-huh.
it lights up. The base lights up, sending light up the sword as though it's like ready to be
Oh.
pulled, like you've been chosen. Here's the sword lighting up. You're ready to pull it out. Because if like on Breath of the Wild for Switch, if you weren't ready to pull out the sword, you died. Enjoy your game over screen. So they took a little bit. They took that stuff a little higher in that.
Yeah.
And for every, I have yet to meet a single nerd or geek that is not some sort of a caffeine nut across the board. Whether they just like the flavor or they're like me and you could go up to Seattle and pick a nice, good dark roast coffee and deliver that to the hospital for them to put in my IV, and I'll be perfectly good with it.
Hold on. Final. Is this an intervention? Like, are you guys trying to tell me something? Like a
No,
caffeine nut?
I'm genuinely caffeine crazy.
I know. It went over Final's head.
Like most things in this conversation, I am not apparently in the loop.
Okay.
I'm gonna
anyways.
catch crap for that. She's gonna have.
Mhm.
She's gonna screw with me for the next
Yep.
week
So,
on this.
so apparently Bunny likes caffeine, and she thought that you were highlighting her love for the dark juice.
No.
Caffeine, nut meaning crazy, interventions, addiction. It was a joke. It's over. Continue.
Whoosh,
please.
right over my head.
Yep.
Well, yeah. No, what I was going to say is for the caffeine nuts out there, the KitchenAid is actually one of the. Yes, it's a KitchenAid. It's a cold brewer. One of the reasons why I like it is it's entirely made out of stainless steel and glass, which means there's not a lot to go wrong with it. A lot of the plastic ones out there have oxidation issues, no matter how good the plastic is. It's going to
Fingerprints.
somehow. Yeah, fingerprints are the only. If that's all I have to worry about is fingerprints, congratulations. I'm loads ahead.
Yeah.
But the other thing I like about this is that you can take out the steeping cup and just set it in your fridge, and it has a spigot on it.
Aren't you pretty?
So you have your dispenser as well as your actual container. It's not like some of the other ones where you have to hold it over, a complicated carafe setup and pray that nothing knocks into it. Cats.
Thank you.
Yes, this is a single solid unit, and it is wide based. So even if a cat gets up on the counter, they're not going to be able to move it easily. I'm not going to say it's going to be impossible, because where there's a cat, there's a way. And it's, under $100. My first cold brew coffee maker was, I'm ashamed to admit, about $160. And that was basically several pieces of silicone and glass. But because it had a fancy name on it, it was expensive. And the first one I saw.
Hold on. I'm going to make a joke.
Oh, God.
My cold brew coffee maker, which is currently in my kitchen, cost me $20, and it makes coffee cold by the hot plate going off.
Different brewing process. This isn't hot brew gone cold. This is slow steep.
Yes, I know. That's why it's a joke.
Hey, we could break the heating element in your coffee make and get the same thing.
No. Leave my coffee alone.
Yes, you were very, very selective of your coffee makers. I seem to recall that being an interesting trial and error process. Anyway, moving
The
on.
last one kept screaming at me.
I know, and that's what had me laughing so hard, is that you had a screaming coffee
It was
maker.
broken. It was broken. So it'd be like, I'm ready, and then it's like, for
No, it was the
15
it
minutes.
turning on at 2 a.m. That was the part that had me laughing. It's like, it wants you to move to its schedule. It's making the caffeine.
But the thing is, it wants to make that noise all day long, and the only way to turn it off is to unplug it.
All night
I am your coffee maker now.
Okay, continue.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Moving on. First of all, I am a huge fan of the Criterion Collection. And when I heard that this was coming out from the Criterion Collection, I knew it was going to be worth spending the money on. This box set is the entire Showa era Godzilla collection. It's anywhere from $120 to $190, depending on where you buy it and whether they have it available. This is a full Criterion Master release. In other words, they went back to the original negatives. They did their standard restoration process. This is not the original American releases. This is true to the original Japanese Godzilla series. There is no American dubbing. This is all Japanese dub with the proper subtitles. I personally felt that was kind of an insult to all the Godzilla movies I grew up on Saturday nights on TNT with the really bad dubbing.
Okay, sorry,
had
this
me
just popped
rolling.
into my brain because of Tom earlier. So, real quick, Tom earlier. Final's going to be on Reddit for gatekeeping.
I'm gonna
Anyway,
be what?
Oh, right. Gotcha.
Why on earth would I go anywhere near Reddit?
no, you're going to be on Reddit for gatekeeping. Oh, he doesn't get the reference. I'm sorry.
Just go with it.
Just go with it. Just be like, okay, sure. You're gonna look up the term.
I'm gonna bring a trench coat, some tarps, and some quicklime. It'd probably be a good idea to have a backhoe.
If you find yourself if you sign yourself the subject of an "Am I the a-hole" post, then
Oh, I've been the subject of at least one of those, I'm pretty sure. Joy of working retail and telling people, no, that's not possible. I don't care what your genius child said.
Next
that
item.
cannot happen.
all right, who's
Next
next?
item.
Who's next?
Nope.
All right. Next. Okay.
Nope.
Last two
Next
items
item.
I could not get
Sorry.
pictures of
Sorry, a little
because
slow.
one, they are extraordinarily large images to do them justice, and two, they're ridiculously expensive. As a Star Wars nut, the Shepperton Stormtrooper, this is an actual full-scale proper replica of the Stormtrooper rifle. Yes, the rifle that never manages to hit anything, no matter how accurately trained you fire.
It's funny
for
how
stormtroopers.
Obi-Wan would say only stormtroopers are this precise.
Maybe he was being sarcastic.
The funny part is the actual weapons are really good. The problem is I think something went wrong in the cloning process. And they're just
No.
not accurate.
Well, we all know that the real reason is that they were allowed to escape from the Death Star. But
Yeah, but this is a full 1-to-1 scale replica of the original prop weapons that were designed for Star Wars back in the 70s, and it's expensive. It's about $400. It is not a cheap gift at all. In fact, it's like going through and building this list is like, I'm going to put this on my wish list. I'm going to put this one in my wish list. I don't think I know anybody that's going to ever buy this for me, but it's going on my wish list.
Yeah, there was a delay in our podcast today because as soon as Tom brought up the topic of Christmas gifts, they were like, this, that, hey, look, this, that, look.
Yeah,
look,
it turned into a share session.
oh, and I
great
think
and glorious.
this is where Judd said that I need to restart the show because Judd's slide doesn't have anything on it yet.
Yeah, and last but not least for me is okay. Legos are expensive. Legos are super
Title.
but if you are willing to spend the money for it, the Lego Star Wars Collector's Edition set it's like a 30-inch long piece of Lego kit that is highly detailed for the entire Millennium Falcon. I don't care if you're a child or you're a full-grown adult. If you love Star Wars, you're going to be looking at that and going, I want. No problem is the $1,000 price tag. If you can find it, it was a limited production run. So places that are selling it, you're going to see close to $1,000 for it.
Okay, so while Tom pulls that up, so I opened a lollipop and I just thought about like my cat tests certain things of human food. So I'm like, I wonder how she'd respond to a strawberry dump pop. And if you guys were watching closely at the cat cam down here, it was different in a different spot a minute ago. But I let her smell it, and she just like opened her eyes, sniffed it, and then like glared. Okay. She kind of looks a little tiff that I woke her up with the smell of strawberries, I guess. But see if I can get her to do it again.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure I cover the gamut there. It's like gamers, coffee nuts, movie fanatics, and Star Wars.
I mean, who wouldn't
There's-
want? Who would not want the Ultimate Millennium Falcon?
Yeah, that's the ultimate kit is expensive.
I'm still annoyed that I saw the Hasbro my brother saw the reissued Hasbro Millennium Falcon at Target for $100, and he wouldn't pick it up for me. I'm like, dude, pick it up. I'll pay you back when I get home. I don't have the cash with me, man. And
So
by the time I
Peanut
got to
Gorilla
Target, it was gone.
said, "Fun fact: cats have no sweet receptors on their tongues."
Oh, that explains a lot.
My cat turns down. Like I made the cat some ground beef the other day, and she got mad at me. She was just like, "Why did you put this in front of me? I detest you, human." Okay.
Judicus Maximus, we don't have anything on your list. You don't get Christmas.
Nope, I know.
Womp, womp.
I already told
He-
you what would be good, and that was the Hallmark ornament, the original, the first one that they actually came out with for Star Wars or Star Trek was the original series Enterprise. It actually plugs into a Christmas light string and it lights up. They didn't know what the they didn't know what the demand would be for it, if anybody would actually want one, so they didn't make that many of them. So they sold it, and they sold out within, I think it was a week of them releasing it.
Yeah.
And strangely enough, I found one on eBay for $56, unopened supposedly. That still had 3 days to go, so it'll probably go from there. But I found a lot of them that were brought now for like $80 to $120, so it's still pretty decent. And the other one, as you see on the image, is the NCC 1701A, or the Constitution class refit, and
Yep,
it is the
definitely
best Enterprise. Period.
best
Fight me on that
Enterprise ever.
Best Enterprise
sorry.
ever.
I'm sorry, Enterprise F.
Best Enterprise ever.
Enterprise F is not a canon.
Okay,
Well,
so
neither is
I
the
guess
E
that's
refit.
Judd's list. Oh, Tom, I figured it out. The reason why Judd doesn't have anything on his list is because he has no more room for it.
That's a possibility. I mean, that Borg recharge node back there is going to take up most of his room.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, Bunny is a rabbit after my own heart. I see some stuff that I wouldn't mind having.
Okay.
Okay, so I had a really hard time doing this because of the budget. So personally, I seriously need to get the first item on this list. It doesn't need to be super expensive, but it needs to work and it needs to be consistent. And that is a car power inverter. And this is where you plug it into where the old cigarette lighters, were. And you can have auxiliary power to power items that normally can't plug into your car. For me, it's for things like I need a new mobile nebulizer. So for me, it's medical, but it's also super geeky because there are other devices that you can bring with you on road trips, or your trip to Walmart to wait for them to fill your car with groceries, which I've been doing a lot. Yeah,
I used
it
to
is.
run my
It is
laptop.
beautiful.
I used to run my laptop off of mine. Where the favorite one I have it's my inverter. The favorite one I've got is got 3 outlets on it. It looks like a power strip. It just looks like a
Nice.
power strip with a 12-volt plug coming out the end. And I found it at a truck stop. I found it at the Flying J.
Oh, nice.
If there's any truck stops near you, that's a good place to look for that kind of stuff.
The reason why I wanted to go something small is because I would basically be carrying this with me in whatever vehicle I'm traveling in. So,
Funny
because
one of the ones you
I
might want to.
don't drive.
The most you can do on, and just as a note, the most you can do on a cigarette lighter plug is somewhere around 125 to 150 watts. So
Yeah.
it will power a lightweight laptop. It will not power a big beefy gaming machine or a big beefy gaming laptop or stuff like that. You can't power a hard drive with it, but
And
your nebulizer should work, and a lightweight laptop will.
yeah. So yeah, I've got this little like compact one. I've also got a nebulizer that's battery operated that I carry in my purse. The issue with that is if I forget and I leave the batteries inside it, they corrode or they drain because there's an indicator light. I do have a plug for it, but that plug doesn't work very well in the cars. If I'm lucky, if it has a USB adapter already in that compartment.
You might check
And
out some of those. You might check out those portable lithium battery packs as well. They're
Oh, hi.
Jim got
Yeah,
one.
I believe Anchor makes one.
One you keep in your
Anchor.
What's that now?
the portable battery packs. But the
Oh,
new
yeah.
the blue ones are LiPo packs instead of big lead acid
Yeah.
batteries.
A lot of the portable nebulizers, the way their battery compartments are designed, it has to be two separate batteries.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was thinking
So-
you mentioned being able to plug it into a USB port, and so heavy duty steam cleaner. Tell us about your heavy duty steam cleaner. Heavy duty steam cleaning needs.
Okay, so it's got a small, compact, lightweight water reservoir, but it allows you to clean multiple rooms with multiple different attachments, and it also has attachments for cleaning fabric, curtains, glass, and so on. And the reason why I like that, and it's not white. Also, we skipped the skull lamps. You
Oh yeah.
anti-skull lamp person. Oh, sorry,
hell
that
no.
was Judd.
I need me some Bob lights.
I just thought the
But
skull lamps spoke of themselves.
I'm not only am I immune compromised, but I also have a severe allergy to dust. So I have to keep my space immensely tidy and dust free. And if I'm not too careful about things, right here on the desk is always 2 EpiPens.
Oh
So
dear Lord, too.
yeah. It's the first one, and then I've got 15 minutes, and usually there's a wait time, so I've used an EpiPen in the ER waiting room before, because I'm not dying on their waiting list. Anyways, but the skull lamps, they're hard to get. They're in stock right now. They're actually about $65 to $69 each, and I'd like a set of 2, which is why the price is up a little bit more than that, and I went past the $100 limit, because for me it's not just like it's super me, and I guess I'm a different kind of geek. I thought you didn't like this. My cat
He
just
just-
keeps sniffing the
He's just
lollipop.
curious.
Hi, baby. Yeah, I know. She's like, it's bedtime, and I'm like, no, it's not. Okay. So yeah, no. I like lamps. I like very nice lamps, and this is a metallic lamp, with a nice shade on it. The skull isn't hidden. It's not just like, oh, it's like a lampshade with. My cat just got her claw stuck in my shirt. Hi. Hi, sweetie. I'm
Okay.
gonna- Okay. So yeah, no, so it's not hidden. It's very ornate. It's artistic, and I mean, it just screams, "Please buy me and put me in your living room." And if you like anthropology, hey, there are some on Amazon that are closer to what you like. And as Jim said earlier, in reference to what movie was that again, Jim? Who's only kind of half here?
There's only what?
Half here.
Not a movie, a book
think
series, and a TV
A book series. Sorry.
Yeah, that was the
The
Dresden
skull
Files.
lamp.
Oh, the dress. Yeah, the Bob lamp.
That's where Bob lives. That's right.
That's where Bob lives. I need that, and I need a hockey stick.
Hockey stick can be arranged easily, but getting yourself a good skull lamp.
I don't know. That picture doesn't look too bad.
Well,
They have different
but
color
wasn't Bob?
variations.
Yeah.
Good.
Bob was just an actual skull with a hinge on it, if I remember correctly.
I'm trying to remember if
No hinge.
if the skull
It's
was
just a
actually
skull.
Bob's skull or if he was just spelled to stay in it. No, he was a fairy in the he was an
He was,
information spirit, intellect spirit in the book.
Yeah.
So he wasn't a dead human.
Yeah, it was a skull that had been carved with various special formulas and magic. Insert magic terms here that made it safe for him to be in.
Yeah.
So
I wanna
yeah.
say enchanted is the word I'm thinking of, but yeah. Anyways.
So then we have the next item is a camcorder stand and SD card, which on Amazon they have they have the 3. I didn't take a screenshot of the SD card because
We all know what that looks like.
yeah. So this would basically just be for, streaming setups of, a lot of us use cameras, especially in, hey, this podcast. We've got a lot of people using stuff. And I actually use a non-webcam camera for Prissy stuff. So, which she's not up there because she's waiting for me to get this back out and invite her back up there.
Uh-oh.
I just realized that Bunny's video on Twitch is backwards from what we're all seeing.
Yeah.
Because she's seeing her mirror view.
So yeah. Anyways, back to the list. Another thing, it's for production and just the fact that I enjoyed the drama theater department at both high school and college. I would love a combination light and soundboard, but we all know. Oh,
Yeah, there aren't any out there that I know of that are combined because they're very different. But they look similar, but they're very different internally.
sorry if you guys saw that. Percy has a habit of trying to eat things at a faster rate than she can actually do so, and that treat I just gave her is one she actually has to chew, and she forgot Hi.
No. You need to chew that, not swallow it whole.
that. So I apologize. Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, no. So I enjoy light and soundboards, and I'm actually going to turn her little camera off for a second. Oh, she's going to go right back for it. So I'll just up.
Dun dun dun.
Try to move her camera here. Okay. So a light board on Amazon. They have a simple one that runs about $299, so about $300. And then a soundboard that was recommended to me by Tom over here. Just because I really enjoyed that part of production when it came to stage management, and I would prefer actual gel lights mainly because I don't know, there is something about changing out one of those hot gel lights on man.
They still make
All that-
they still make
all that-
ellipsoidals and pars, but they're using LED lamps. What you can do is you can set the light to white, or you can just not buy an RGB, and you can still put gels in the theater lights. But now
Yeah,
they have
no.
RGB lamps as well, so you can change the color from your light board.
Yeah. One of the things that we used to do for our productions is we would, cut out shapes in the gel, and you have to use special tape when you do that because some tapes will
Burn?
the adhesive would melt or burn.
Yeah.
So you don't want to use, the paper tapes. You don't want to use it. It was, oh man, it was something that I just adored. And I mean, I spent, I don't know, 6 hours a day in the theater, in the light and sound boardroom with the server and my own personal AC unit that was over the doorway. So it was kind of a big part of, I don't know, 2
So-
years of high school and 2 years of college at least.
So what you're
One of
telling
those
me
things where
is
when you
there
get into
in
it-
your world you love the smell of CTO in the morning.
Yeah, you could say that. Do you want to?
Yeah, for those of you that aren't familiar with the term, that means color temp orange, which is something until I took a class on filmmaking and cinematography, always confused the living crap out of me. It's like, how is a color a temp?
color temperature. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it wasn't until I got into it and it's like, okay, yeah, that makes more sense. You have to
My
get into a lot of the
mother-
physics behind it.
My mother's been an artist for decades, and I'm like, oh, well, I was thinking about getting something, changing the lights out for, just like some 3600 or 4000s. And she's, what? Yeah, Kelvin. What are you talking about? Yeah,
Oh.
that's the color temperature. That's the light color temperature. What are you talking about?
Yeah, white point is how most people
It
understand it.
is this, and if I understand this correctly, and I could be wrong, but if I understand correctly, light has a temperature because that is literally the frequency that the molecules are vibrating at when something is that temperature. So
Okay.
if you have a temperature of like, was it 15,000 Kelvin, that you literally are, the molecules are literally vibrating so fast that they're creating an electromagnetic, they're emitting magnetic waves at that frequency.
Possibly.
So-
I don't know.
Everyone, we need to copy Tom. We need to slowly slide back in our seats and hide behind something that we're using as equipment.
It's just a comfortable position for me is all.
Eh.
I have to
There
move
we go.
forward. I have to move
There we go.
forward to reach this keyboard to click the mouse on the next screen.
Click.
Oh, look, it's me.
Thank you, Jeff.
So these aren't necessarily my wish list, although I would not mind having anything on this list. If somebody said, "Hey Tom, here's $50, go to Best Buy," I would probably. I've been looking at this Logitech mouse because it works with 3 different devices, and you can click see those 3 buttons on the side. You just click the button, and it works on that device. So it works on my iPad, works on my computer, and might be able to use it on my second computer just by click. And I'm going to get the keyboard. I actually have the keyboard that does the same thing, and it's really handy when you're flipping back and forth between my Apple TV and my computer and my iPad. The in the $100 range, I always say that a good pair of headphones is a good investment, especially when you're a gamer. And the SteelSeries Arctis looks like a good set of headphones in that price range. These are not SteelSeries. These are also a little bit more expensive, but I also
Can you
really
lean
like these
forward so we can
RGBs.
see them?
Yeah, these are, like I said, these are
And
not
rotate.
SteelSeries. The ones I have right now are a nice pair of AKG Studio headphones that are actually sort of open backed, but they're in the $200 price range.
How old are
Um,
those?
What's that, Brad?
How old are those?
Oh, these are a couple of these headphones. I think I bought
Yeah.
them last year.
Yeah, I was
So,
gonna say,
side-
almost anything with AKG attached to it is going to be on the pricey side.
Yeah,
Okay,
They tend to be good.
So time out. So just to let everyone know, Tom and everybody else in this chat is part of the group that we call Giants. So these headphones that Tom is wearing would not work for someone my size. And I say that because I'm wearing kid headphones.
so you guys, this is Bunny's head.
Did you just compare my head to a muff?
And if you go to put the headphones on Bunny's head, they don't fit.
So basically, if I wear headphones that large and I nod, they fly off.
Tell that Tom and I did not work
Nice to
on
know I'm
the
not
edit.
the only one getting a
Best
broken
potato.
leg.
What's that, Jim?
I said you can tell Tom and I didn't work on that joke ahead of time, or it would have been a potato.
Oh, damn.
So the third item on my list is entirely this is entirely what's the word I'm thinking of?
Insanely retro.
Well, there's that. Entirely gratuitous. Gratuitous is the word I was thinking of.
Unnecessary.
The 8-bit guy, David Murray, is building a new computer.
Sit down.
And I don't mean he's like assembling one that you buy at the store. He's literally he and like 5 of his friends are literally designing an 8-bit computer from the ground up. They are using the among other things, you can buy this particular keyboard from WASD Keyboards to work with that machine, because I don't know if you've noticed, but it has the Commodore style graphical glyphs on it, and I actually ordered those keycaps, and I have those keycaps on another mechanical keyboard, but I would really like to have that WASD really quality mechanical keyboard, and that thing actually costs $195. So for the uber geek who is also a man of a certain age, that is a nice callback to the 80s. That keyboard right there. And what you may grunt,
A person of a certain
it
age.
is a quality keyboard, and it's worth $200.
It doesn't even have to be someone of that age. Anyone interested in retro computing, and you can't do retro computing without running into Commodore in damn near every field of it.
One thing that I have done is I'm going to put them on. I'm going to put this under my other camera here. Oops, let's actually put it under the other camera. I took this keyboard, this Logitech gaming keyboard, and I actually bought Commodore stickers and put them on the front of the keys. So if I'm actually using my Commodore emulator, it will actually, I can remember what keys go with what symbols. Just a fun little dorky thing to do. Okay, back to, and in the $500 range, if you're going to buy your Gamer Geek a present, a good 32-inch gaming monitor is hard to beat. I'm running an LG monitor right now, and to tell you the truth, I think I like the Asus. I think I like the Asus monitors better. This LG works really well, but it's like a bare bones monitor. Anyways, the point being that 32 inch is a nice big screen. Something that's 4K would be probably more prohibitively expensive, but a 1440p monitor, it's definitely a fun thing to have for the gamer in your life. And if you really wanted to,
hertz though.
What's that?
The 144 hertz though.
Yeah, the 144 hertz is what makes it. And I think this LG I think I paid a little bit more than that. But now that G-Sync is no longer required, and you can go with the FreeSync monitors for a GeForce graphics card, the cost of entry for 144 hertz gaming with Adaptive Sync just went like $200, went down by $200 overnight.
Well, it's still G-Sync, but it doesn't have a G-Sync module built into the monitor.
Well, the difference is FreeSync and G-Sync are different protocols. So the GeForce card will now work with FreeSync monitors, which is the open standard.
Yeah, but also there's an actual G-Sync module. It's its own basically graphics card built into the monitor, with I think 32 megs of RAM on it. That's why it's so expensive.
Oh, so it's got a bunch of memory on board to do what?
It's basically got a separate driver.
It's got a separate video card built into the monitor to make sure that there's no tearing.
Oh, interesting.
That's why G-Sync monitors were so expensive, is because they have this extra componentry in them for that.
I honestly just thought you were paying NVIDIA tax on that.
No. Well, yes, but there was actual hardware involved as well. Plus, NVIDIA.
That'll be a fun deep dive in a future episode to talk about how G-Sync actually works.
This monitor has that in it, and my old Asus monitor has it.
And then, so if you're really going to buy your Gamer Geek, if you're really going to go overboard and get them $1,000 gift, I absolutely love my iPad Pro. I honestly believe that unless you need Windows, this is absolutely. Come on, go away. I think that. Give me a second here. Sorry. I think that this is the best tablet you can buy. and not just because it has a Star Trek, Elcar's interface on it. I honestly, I put. Jed will remember when I bought my first iPad. I loaded up the Elcar's interface and put a screen on our forums, a screenshot
That
on the
I don't
forum,
remember.
just of my iPad sitting there on the table, just with the Starfleet logo sitting on the front of it. And I've had an iPad. I've had a tablet of some sort ever since. I tried Android for a while, but the Android tablets just don't keep up.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Not as good.
another machine that I really have had fun with. Maybe I've not used it as much as I like, but this little guy over here, right underneath the Mac Mini, which isn't even plugged in right now, which will tell you how much I use it. That is dude. I moved out of this house 4 years ago and then moved back in. The last time I had that Mac Mini running was when I was here before I moved and then moved back. So that is the Hades Canyon Nook, and that is an Intel gaming PC. That is the size of a hardcover novel. I love that thing. It does gaming. I use one at my church. I use the Skull Canyon Nook, its predecessor. I use that for streaming. I run the control software on it. I run streaming software on it. I run a web browser to monitor the stream, and I also run software to run our mixer. I have 2 separate monitors hooked up, so I can run everything at the same time. Actually, I use a touchscreen monitor to run our video switcher. So the Hades Canyon Nook, you throw in a SSD and 32 gigs of RAM, and you're right at that $1,000 mark. And of course, what gamer wouldn't want the brand new GeForce 3080 that's either coming out or has already come out. I'm not quite sure
But
what it is.
been out for a while and nobody can get it.
Okay.
So
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those
And then-
catch-22s.
The next nerd on our list will be Jim over here.
Cricket.
What are my price ranges?
50,
100
100,
bucks,
200,
200 bucks,
500,
500 bucks,
1,000.
and 1,000 bucks.
Is this for myself or for somebody else?
Either. Geeky.
Mine was more of a this is something the gamer geek in your life might like, but Buddy's was
let's
very
see.
specific.
$50. You could go with a mouse, but mice are kind of personal. A good mouse pad's a good idea.
There you go.
You
One
can
of the
get some
really
of those
big
custom
ones with
ones.
the wrapped edges and nice fabric top. I really like mine. I didn't think I would until I got one, and I don't know how to work without it. That's not a mouse pad.
I love this pad.
That's a little baby mouse pad.
Well, you get one of those giant monster pads.
See if I can pick it up here
Oh
without.
my gosh!
That's not a mouse pad. That's a freaking.
That's a
desktop
table.
cover.
These things, I'm telling you, they look ridiculous. I got talked into trying one, and I do not know how the hell I ever lived without it all this time. They are
Okay.
wonderful.
Okay. So, who here's not using a mouse pad? Okay, I'm the only one. Okay, so real quick, my mouse pad. Do you guys know what this is?
It's that's a
lens
microfiber
cloth.
cleaning cloth.
Every time I go to get my stuff to clean my glasses, which I'm not wearing, they give me a new one of these. So I've got
that's
this
not a
one's
mouse
stuck.
pad.
It's not a mouse pad, but that's what my mouse sits on.
By the way, this is my new friend. I'm calling him Bernie.
Hold on, wait. Uh-oh, my mouse doesn't work without my mouse pads. Hold on. I gotta put it back. So,
Okay.
for
I'm-
the low-budget
Oh.
gamer,
And that is a problem with black tables. It's also a problem, by the way, with pink or red tables. Because the laser is red, it tends to not reflect very well off of red
so,
tables.
Or glass.
Tom, what was that?
Yeah. What?
You were saying something was your buddy, and I was trying to, like, move my mouse
Oh,
over to your
yeah.
screen.
It's my new friend. His name is Bernie, not Bunny. Bernie.
Aww, but I'm dumb.
Okay,
Hey, buddy.
so
how you
is that
doing?
all of your
Oh, pretty good,
your
Tom.
your gift ideas, Jim?
No, just wait until you were done.
Okay, sorry.
The for $100, that's like a good game. You know, something the other person will enjoy.
Collector's
And
edition, special
It's
edition.
like if it's somebody you really like, about $200 to $300 if you wanted to get them a good keyboard. I'm really into mechanical keyboards. The only thing I like better than a good mechanical keyboard is a good old Model M. Like this baby here.
Oh
yeah.
Yes.
Right there.
Clicky. But there
Yeah.
are some excellent mechanical keyboards out there right now. There are some really, really good ones. Taya Types put some stuff together, but those usually go for like $500 or $600, a little out of my price range. Anything above that, buy somebody a gift card and let them get something they wouldn't be able to buy for themselves. Guilt free. I want to go blow $1,000 on something. I don't have to. Oh God, I can't really spend the money. Nah, give me a gift card. Go crazy. Get one of those prepaid Visa cards with a big note on there. Do not pay a bill with this, or I will haunt you after I die. Go and have a
That's
good
the
time.
first time I can genuinely say that a gift card actually sounded like a good idea. It's like, use this to buy your video card. I'm tired of you complaining.
Exactly. Go buy something you just wouldn't
Memo.
buy.
If it's only a gift that you give me all year, please don't buy me a gift card. I don't enjoy shopping all that much.
Neither
Like, you
do
know,
I.
on Amazon and
Obviously, we all need to get together and get Bunny a GeForce 3080.
Oh, I just realized how to screw with her.
Oh no.
It's going
Be
to involve a
afraid.
massive pile of $5 gift cards. Just the look on her face, she sounds like, "Ah."
to a cleaning supply company.
That's based in California that I'll never or never be able to go to.
Hey, they got a website.
Oh, you're evil, Brad.
Well, she's been threatening to kick the crap out of my shins for a while, and I figure I
It's
might as well
because I'm
deserve it.
short. You're
'cause
like
you can't
what, a
reach any
foot
higher.
taller than me?
A bit more than that, yeah.
I'm not that short.
The real
Are you
reason she wants that
6'4"?
tripod is because so that she can use it to reach up and smack you in the kneecap.
Oh God, don't give her ideas, damn it! Don't give her ideas. No, it's just like I think that for some gift cards can be really awesome if they're used in the right way. Like saying, "Go buy your damn video card." That's cool because that is something they're gonna want to do, but it's also an incredibly personal choice. You don't just go out there and buy a 3080. You're gonna go research what feature sets are going to be coming on it for which manufacturer, what kind of output cables is it going to have, is it going to require a newer power adapter or not. There's a lot of little tiny details that only someone building their own computer is going to know exactly what they want.
And I can get that. Also hearing you guys say, throw $1,000 gift card their way. I thought my dad was being a little overzealous when he, for my birthday sent me a $200 gift card. And I was,
Funny.
yeah, it was a lot of money. I used it to get inhaler medicine. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I generally, courtesy of one of my friends growing up, me and Judd have same
Jim's
guy.
still going through his list, by the way.
No,
I'll end it.
Okay.
Well, actually, one thing to add that Jim brought up that I think is really important. Customized mechanical keyboards where you buy a base plate and you literally build everything yourself have exploded. They're super popular now.
They're
expensive as hell. But
Yeah.
the ability to build the keys you most commonly use as a gamer to be a completely separate key type and spring type for just those keys. Oh,
I really do. I really do believe that in the next 5 years, keyboards are going to be like musical instruments. They're going to be something that you buy a good one of and you use it from then on. You take it in, you have it repaired, you have it tuned up. You change the switches if you need to. It's going to be weighted for your hands and which ones you hit harder. I really do believe that. I really, 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 really do.
Okay,
no,
so
that's actually a thing in esports. They have customized keyboards to that player, and that just for them.
I think it's
So-
going to end up that serious computer users and serious gamers are that's what they're going to be.
So, real quick, if you're just joining us, we were talking about our favorite geek gaming presents and stuff like that. You know, stuff to spend certain amounts of money on for this holiday season. But let's not forget that there is also a charity event that's going on this weekend, and that is Extra Life. And this is my plug once again for Extra Life 2020. And Extra Life is a charitable donation that you can donate to that is completely tax deductible. And this year, we are donating to the Arkansas Children's Network hospitals. And the reason why we're donating there is because I spent a lot of time there. I have a lot of love for this place. If it was not for them, I wouldn't be here today doing a podcast with these amazing gentlemen. And I just wanted to go over that real quick, just to remind everyone who's just joined us, or maybe you've just returned, that the extension down below is a quick link to the donation, and any amount, as Tom mentioned earlier, you can donate $17.01. Make it truly geeky. You can, just donate a couple of dollars, whatever you are able to donate, if you're able to donate. And if you're not able to donate, I understand. Times are hard. Share that link. That's going to be open a couple of days, even after I'm not streaming for it. It's open for donations. And it goes directly to the Children's Hospital. I get no proceeds of it, and it is for a great cause. It makes sure that no family has to worry about the medical expenses at that hospital, at the Children's Miracle Network hospitals. And every child that goes in those doors can be seen by a doctor or specialist that they need without their family having to worry about if they can afford it. So if you guys wouldn't mind opening your hearts, opening your wallets, and checking out that donation link down below in the extension that you see here on Twitch, I would truly, truly love it. And that would easily be my number one gift that you could give me this year for Christmas. And I'll let you guys get back to
Keyboard cowboy stuff.
yeah,
Keyboard
Tom,
cowboy.
Tom, who's no longer slinking backwards but slowly sinking down.
Did you blow the gas cylinder in your chair again?
No, I just keep the camera rolling.
I mean, come on, that was one of my favorite office pranks. Just
What?
What is that?
Oh,
the gas cylinder in there.
oh,
You
and we
just-
also
if you
have
get it just right,
Grombit.
it
I believe.
slowly loses pressure.
Okay,
over
Judd, is that
time.
Grombit?
This is how nerdy I am. I have a little pass-through plate in my ceiling, so I can hear my ham radio antennas outside.
So, Judd, is that Grombit on the bed?
No, this is Amber.
Grummet?
That's Amber. Okay.
Amber the sweetie. Grandma's
Which
on the
one?
floor.
Okay, Grombit's on the floor. Okay.
You
Amber's
can
the
kind of
sweetie.
see him.
Grommet's the one
right
doing
there.
an impressive job simulating a
Throw
romp
rug? Yeah.
No, you
A
would
throw
not
rug.
throw that dog. That dog would. You try to throw that dog, and you're going to herniate something.
He's
Okay,
80
so-
pounds.
Okay, I grew up with really large breed dogs. We had Newfoundlands. I had an overweight purebred German Pointer. I had a Chow Collie Husky. So on average, I think the smallest dog we had was my German Shepherd. So, he's small. He's like a medium-sized poocher.
Yeah. She's small. She's just a tall corgi, basically.
Aw.
Aw,
Yeah.
I miss my corgis.
Okay, so I guess our slideshow is over, Tom.
Well, the next thing is would be Brad's CISC versus Risk talk, and I don't have any slides for that, strangely.
No, because I got distracted by gift lists and kind of went down that rat hole.
I tried to get him back on topic, but up to the point of us going live, he's like, "Oh, I found more. I found." And it's
Wait. I'm sorry. You tell a nerd to make a list. What do you expect?
We're also at just about 2 hours for the stream.
I'm wondering if we shouldn't just call it a night and
How about a question?
I'm thinking we should maybe skip my section because
Yeah.
One, I really do need to add slides because there's a lot of little details that need to be presented well, and this is not something I'm going to do
So
with
he
talking
gets
without
he
presentation.
gets a B plus for participation, but his slideshow gets
He gets an F for his section and an associate producer credit for everything else.
Congratulations, you get a participation medal.
Oof. Ouch. I mean, it could be the worst thing. Or what was the Futurama reference? The worst grade a scientist can get, an A minus minus.
Oh.
I was like, man, I would have loved to have gotten an
Jim
A
said he
minus
had
on
a
half my
question.
stuff.
Yeah, just a question for the people out there, if there's people listening. I want to do more on the Star Trek fan films, but I need to know what people want. Do you want me to talk about the fan films or what I think of them? Like, do you want a review of the episode, or do you just want me to find cool episodes?
And if you have any
Personally,
questions on that, feel free to ask those, and we
feel free
can
to ask them,
clarify.
and not only that, during the week you can visit the Starport Omega Reddit group, which we try to keep a topic out there for the week's subjects, as well as a place for you to ask your questions. And I haven't actually checked to see if we have any questions, but let's go take a quick look.
And if you have one that you want me to watch and talk about, let me know.
Sorry, what was that,
And
Brad?
If
you can find that link in chat right now.
I keep forgetting that there's a Reddit, and I'm like,
Yep.
Because I generally
And
try to
if you have-
avoid Reddit.
If you do have a question and you don't feel comfortable asking in chat right now for Jim about the Star Trek fan films, please go ahead and leave that on Reddit. You can also send that to me directly at Twitter. You can also join and ask me, Tom, Judd, I think Finals on my Discord. Just say, hey, I've got a question for Jim. So you guys can find all that there. And that way you guys can ask freely however you feel comfortable.
Fair enough.
Judd, do you have anything to add?
No. Other than I'm about this close to go to sleep.
He's like, yes, I'm supposed to be asleep right now.
Also, I would just like to compliment Jim on his hairstyling and grooming. You look exquisite tonight.
Thank you.
Wow, buddy.
I
look
gotta
like a
say, I
homeless
like the shirt because old school Diablo.
Yes.
Yeah.
El Diablo.
Yeah. Which,
Yeah,
by
the
the
hair
way,
short 'cause I got tired of taking care of long hair. Unfortunately, I like long hair, but I'm just tired of taking care of it.
I got my hair cut, but no one can tell because she took like 2.5 inches off, and it doesn't really show.
Well,
So
in my case, I don't ever have the camera on, and I've got.
Oh,
Well,
Brad, your
long
hair
hair.
looks wonderful.
I haven't seen him in 3 months.
About that, yeah. Yeah, we saw each other once after the initial lockdown let up. I think that was for a brief bit, and that was it.
Speaking of someone else that got a haircut, real quick, Percy actually got her trim for dry skin season. So she got her oatmeal conditioner bath and everything. So she's actually shaved. If you're wondering why her colors look so dull, it's because she's actually shaved, so she looks like a cow.
No, I'm sorry, that's Fat Cat.
Yeah, she's a little chunky sometimes. She acts like she's chunky, like when she tries to eat a treat whole on live stream, which is still sitting in her bed because she tried to eat it whole on live stream.
Well, greedy kitty is greedy.
So, anyways, thank you guys for joining us for this week's Starport Omega. And before Tom turns into a pumpkin, I will let him say the closing words.
I forgot what the closing words were. So maybe remember, this is the last chance to get fuel and gas before you leave this galaxy. And don't forget, we're probing the galaxy one exhaust board at a time.
Yeah, if you need fuel, try the pumps. If you need gas, the snack bar's in the back. See you in 2 weeks.
Well, I mean, gas meaning oxygen, nitrogen.
He stepped right all over it. Okay.
Ugh.
Good
So
night,
we got some
everybody.
Taco Bell in the back if you need gas.
We
There
know
you
a
go.
little bit of sulfur.
Okay.
Can never go wrong with a Taco Bell joke.
Oh God.
Which is sad because I actually like Taco Bell.
Tom, are you okay?
I'm surviving.
You're sweating.
What's
No.
the matter?
Oh. Okay.